Welcome to the next session of Strength of Materials. In this session, I am going to solve question 13 of SF and BM. Draw SFD and BMD for the beam ABCD loaded as shown in the figure below. Here there is a beam A to D. At A there is a hinge, at D there is also a hinge, at B there is a roller support. Over the entire beam there is UDL. Now, question number 13 about internal hinges in beams. At point C, there is a hinge. So, I'll first draw the FBD of this beam and then I'll show you how to solve using this beam. At A, there will be a reaction VA. At B, there is a reaction VB. At D, there will be a reaction VD. Internal hinge at point C. So, there is no reaction as of now. This is my point B. Now, A to B, there is a UDL of 20 kilonewton per meter over a distance of 9 meter. So, I'll multiply 20 into 9, which will be 180 kilonewton, placed at a distance of 4.5 meter. Next, I have 20 kilonewton per meter over a distance of 6 meter. So, this will be 120 kilonewton. And the distance will be 3 meter. Here it is also 20 kilonewton per meter over a distance of 3 meter. So this will be 20 into 3, 60 kilonewton, and the distance will be 1.5 meter each. So this is the FBD, but I am going to use this only for drawing the SF diagram and the BM diagram. I am not going to use this for calculation of VA, VB and VD. Now I will show you what I am going to actually do for the calculation of VA, VB and VD. There are certain rules for solving for internal hinge. First I will start with the first rule, that is, at this point of internal hinge we can break the beam into two parts. So if I break at point C, the first part will be ABC and the second part of the beam will be C to D. So let me take the first part of the beam, which is ABC, and I will redraw A to B to C. Now I will directly draw the FBD. At A point there is a reaction VA, at B there is a reaction VB. Here there is a load of 180 kilonewton at a distance of 4.5 meter. This is my point B. Next I have point C, and here there is again a UDL. So I'll just mark 120 kilonewton and the distance is 3 meter. Now if you observe, I have drawn the same thing which I have drawn in the FBD. So it was not difficult for me to recreate this. Now what you have to understand is I have broken the beam into part ABC and part CD. So first I am talking about part ABC. Now when I talk about this part, you have to understand that for a hinge, when you break the beam, here there is a reaction which you will observe because it is a hinge. So when you observe a reaction, you need to draw some kind of reaction at this point. Now it can be either from downward direction or from upward direction. I am assuming that at this point there is a reaction from upward direction. I call it as VC. Now when I am solving this beam, I will use two equations. The first equation will be summation of force in y direction is equal to 0. Upward forces will be considered positive like in the previous numerical. So here I have VA going upward, here I have minus 180, then I have plus VB minus 120 and I have minus VC is equal to 0. So I have therefore VA plus VB minus VC is equal to 300. I mark this as equation 1. Next, I'll use summation of moment, say about A is equal to 0. clockwise moment will be positive. So here when I am turning all the forces, I'll have 180 turning clockwise. So I'll have 180 into 4.5. I have VB turning anti-clockwise, so minus this distance is 9 VB. Then I have 120 turning clockwise, so plus 120 into 12, and I have plus VC into 15 is equal to 0. So here I get therefore minus 9 VB plus 15 VC is equal to 2250. I mark this as equation 2. Okay, so this will be with a negative sign. Now, if you observe these two equations, there are 3 unknown in the first equation and 2 unknown in the second equation. So, obviously, I cannot solve this. So, what I'll do is, I will now take the part CD of the beam and I'll recreate that. So, when I redraw CD, this is point C and this is my point D. At point D, I have a reaction VD, and at point C, now obviously I have to have a reaction. If you see the first part A to C, there was a reaction in the downward direction. So here I have to show a reaction in the upward direction. So here I'll mark VC again. And now from the diagram over here, where I got 60 kilonewton and the distance was 1.5, 1.5, I'll redraw the same thing here. Now I'll solve this much portion of the beam. So this is my part CD of the beam. Now here I am going to use the same two equations. So I'll have summation of force in y direction is equal to 0. Upward forces will be considered positive. So I have VC going upwards plus VD and 60 is going downward. So I have one equation here. Let me mark this as equation number 3. Next I'll take summation of moment about C is equal to 0. Let's take clockwise as positive. So I'll have 60 turning clockwise and I have VD turning anti-clockwise. From here I get the value of VD as 30 kilonewton. When I substitute this in equation 3, I'll get the value of VC as 30 kilonewton. Now when I obtain the value of VC here, I can substitute this value in these equations. So first I'll start with substituting in equation 2. When I substitute in equation 2, I get the value of VB as 300 kilonewton, and when I substitute this VB and VC both in equation 1, I get the value of VA as 30 kilonewton. So here are the 4 values that I have obtained: VA 30, VB 300, VC is 30 and VD is also 30. So I'll substitute these values in this equation. So VA is 30, VB is 300, VC, which I am not using, and VD is also 30 kilonewton. Now at this point C, you have to understand, I have got the value of VC, I have used it for calculating VA, VB and VD, but when I talk about the entire beam, the two reactions which I have obtained for VC for the two parts of the beam obviously will cancel out. So we are not going to show any reaction over here. Now I will tell you the rules. The first rule is, when you have a hinge point for SFD, there are no shear forces values to be calculated at that point, and the bending moment for that point becomes 0. So these are the two rules which you need to remember while solving for a beam which has an internal hinge, apart from the way I have shown you how to calculate the reactions on the beam. So let's start with the SF calculations now. To the left of section, if I see any force going upward, I'll say it is positive shear force. When I walk from left to right, I'm going to use this sign convention. Suppose if I walk on the beam from right to left, then I will say that to the right of section, any force going downward is positive shear force. I'll start with point A. Shear force to the left of A is 0. It is self-explanatory now. I'll go for shear force to the right of A. I'll walk a little ahead of A so I can see 30 kilonewton. Next, I'll calculate shear force to the left of B. I'm not going to calculate at 180. I hope you recollect the rule of UDL. We have to directly go to the point B. So when I go to the point B and I stand here, I can see 30 going upwards, 180 going downwards. So I have 30 minus 180, which is minus 150 kilonewton. Next, I'll calculate shear force to the right of B. Apart from this 30 and minus 180, when I go little ahead of B, this VB value also becomes visible. So it is plus 300. So I get 150 kilonewton. Next, I'll directly jump to the point D. As I have told you, the rule is do not calculate the value of shear force at the point where there is an internal hinge. So neglecting point C, I will directly jump to the point D. When I stand at D, I can see 30 going upward, 180 going downward, 300 going upward, 120 going downward and 60 going downwards. So I will calculate shear force to the left of D, 30 minus 180 plus 300 minus 120 minus 60. I get the value as minus 30 kilonewton. Next, I'll calculate the shear force to the right of D. Very important, I should get the value as 0. For right of D, apart from all these values, there is one more value which will be visible, that is this 30 kilonewton. So I will have 30 minus 180 plus 300 minus 120 minus 60 plus 30. Here it was minus 30, I added 30, it becomes 0. So I start from a 0, I end at a 0. My values are correct, I'll plot my SF diagram. I'll draw at the center portion somewhere. So this is my line. This is my point A, this is point B, and this is my point D, this is point C. I'll start with A. Left of A the value is 0. Right of A the value is 30 kilonewton. I'll just write here this is SF in kilonewton. So I don't have to write the units again and again. Left of B the value is minus 150. So it is somewhere down. Minus 150. Then I have right of B the value is plus 150. So it's above. At point C I have not calculated value. For D the left of D value is minus 30. And right of D the value is 0. I'll connect the points from 0 to 30, left of A, right of A. From 30 to 150, I'll join. Since this is UDL, for SF diagram, I'm going to use a straight line. Next, from minus 150 to plus 150, I'm going to join. Then I'll join from 150 to minus 30. And finally, I'll join from minus 30 to 0. Here I'll write down positive, this is negative, this is positive, and this is negative value. Now here you can see the C point is here and this line is cutting the neutral axis somewhere ahead of C. So I'll just draw the hatching line. So this is my shear force diagram. Now I can calculate these distances over here, A, B, C, D. So I'll call this point as E and this point as F. You can calculate these distances A to E over here. I label it as x1 and this portion C to F, let me call this portion as x2. These two distances can be calculated and the distances can be marked from any one end. It is very easy to calculate the distance x1 by using similarity of triangles, which I have shown you in the previous lecture. So by similarity of triangles, these two triangles I'm going to consider. So here I'll have 30 and the dividing value will be 150. These are the two heights whose ratio I'm going to take, and here the distance is x1 divided by this length. Total length is 9 minus x1. So 9 minus x1. So when I substitute, I get therefore x1 is equal to 1.5 meter, which is this distance A to E. This value is important because I need to calculate the bending moment at this point E, which is going to be maximum because this is a point of zero shear. Now for this point F, if you observe, I cannot use similarity of triangles because CG value is not known to me. I know this height, it is 30, this height is not known. So I cannot use similarity of triangle. So I'm not going to calculate this distance x2. I will rather show you another way of calculating the bending moment maximum value at this point F. So now let's go for the bending moment calculations. To the left of section, if I see any moment going clockwise, I'll say it is positive bending moment. I'll start with the point A. There is no moment at A, so I'll calculate the bending moment only once over there. The bending moment at A will be 0. Next, I'll go to the point B. Again, there is no moment at point B, so I'll calculate only once. When I stand at B and I look to the left, I can see VA turning clockwise and 180 turning anti-clockwise. So I'll have 30 into 9 minus 180 into 4.5. I'll get the answer as minus 540 kilonewton meter. Next, I'll go to the point C. I will get the value of bending moment at point C as 0. So let's calculate at point C. When I stand at C, I will see VA turning clockwise, 180 turning anti-clockwise, VB turning clockwise and 120 turning anti-clockwise. So I'll have 30 into 15 minus 180 into 10.5. Then I'll have plus 300 into 6 and I'll have minus 120 into 3. When I solve this, I'll get the answer as 0. Next, I'll go to the point D. Obviously, when I stand at D, I should get the value as 0 because this is the last point and my bending moment here should be 0. So here I have 30 into 18. I'll have minus 180 into 13.5. Then I'll have plus 300 into 9. Next, I'll have minus 120 into 6 and I'll have minus 60 into 1.5. I get the value as 0. After this, I'll calculate two more bending moment. One will be at point E and the other will be at point F. So first I'll start with this point E. I'll draw A to E portion. At point A, there is a reaction VA of 30 kilonewton. Between A to E, there is a UDL of 20 kilonewton per meter and this distance is 1.5 meter. So when I solve this from A to E, this will be 30 kilonewton and the distance will be 1.5 by 2. So I have to calculate the bending moment at E. So I'll turn all the forces towards E. So I'll have 30 into 1.5 and I'll have minus 30 into 1.5 by 2. I get the answer as 22.5 kilonewton meter. So this is the value of bending moment at E. Next I'll calculate for this point F. Now I told you that I'm not going to calculate this distance x2. So how am I going to calculate between CD? So there is a formula for calculating the bending moment between 2 points. So I'm going to use the formula directly. So I'm going to use bending moment at F by calculating the maximum bending moment between this point CD, which is subjected to a UDL. Now this is a formula which I am directly using. I'll be explaining this when I go for the chapter bending stresses in beams. So right now you can just take the formula as WL square by 8. This is the formula which is used. Now W is the load, length is the total length which I have for CD, which is 3 square and this is 8. When I solve it, I get the value as 22.5 kilonewton meter again. Now I'm going to plot all these values of bending moment. This is my point C and this is my point D. Now I'll project this point E and F as well. So I'll start plotting. Bending moment at A is 0. At point B is minus 540. So it is down here. At C the value is 0. At D the value was 0. And at E this value was 22.5. And at F again the value was 22.5. So now I'll join these values. If you observe from this zone to this zone, from the zone A to E, there is a decrease in shear force. So I'll draw the curve above the line. Again from E to this portion B, there is a decrease in the value of shear force. So I will join with a curve again. So here the join will be something like this, from this point to this point. So I'll just join above the line. So it will be something like this. From the portion B to C, if you observe, there is a decrease in slope, obviously up to this point F. So here again I'm going to draw above the line. So it will go something like this. And again from F to D, you can see a further decrease in slope. So this is the line above the curve. So this is how you are supposed to join the bending moment graph. This is the point B, E, F. Here I'll write positive bending moment. This is negative bending moment. And this is also positive bending moment. I'll join with a hatching line. The area under SF diagram indicates the intensity of loading on the beam, and the area under bending moment diagram indicates the shear force acting on the beam. I have already mentioned this before. I am just mentioning it because it needs to be remembered. Now again, if you require, you can calculate this distance over here. These are the two contraflexure points again. Let me call this as, okay, I've used G over here. So I'll use H and I, these to become my contraflexure point, H and I. So you can again calculate this distance by drawing from A to H. This is a UDL. This can be drawn and I have to calculate up to this point I. So from B to I again it can be drawn and it can be calculated. So I just leave this portion. This last portion is not very difficult. I am leaving this portion for the viewers to solve and get the answers. So I hope you have understood the numerical. If you have any doubts or if you want me to solve any numerical, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for latest updates of my videos. See you in the next session. Thank you.